All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about New York to track residents' food purchases and place caps on meat served by public institutions. So if you haven't been preparing for the technocracy and the panopticon control grid
and the communism,
you should start now. I would highly recommend considering a geographical region that is slightly more free than the dystopian, one of those Russell brothers, was it Kurt Russell, Escape from New York? Like, I didn't know that was like an actual storyline based on a futuristic real reality, but apparently, you know, if you haven't escaped from New York yet, I would highly recommend it. Hey, and if you are considering escaping from New York, you really need to be at the Exit and Build Land Summit this week in Bastrop. You can attend virtually, so check out the link down below. But what we're talking about today...
And New York just banned like all gas stoves too.
Yeah, they're all doing, you know, it's interesting because when you put this information out there, you guys are tinfoil hat retards, and this is all fear-mongering and conspiratorial. Well, the whole gas stove ban thing, they just proposed a bill in Congress to ban the banning of the gas stove. So, yeah, and that's what government does for you. Oh, we're going to ban the banning of, like, something that works. And, oh, thanks for helping us, you know? Like, why don't you just leave us all alone? Okay.
And then they turn off the power. So
yeah, why don't you stop the mass invasion on our southern and northern border? But anyway, New York City will begin tracking the carbon footprint of household food consumption and putting caps on how much red meat can be served in public institutions as part of a sweeping initiative to achieve a 33% reduction. 33. That's a weird number. Wonder why they chose that. They're going to do a 33%, the 33% Scottish Rite reduction in carbon emissions from food by 2030. So if you've heard of Agenda 21, which is then Agenda 2030, this you're seeing this flesh out here and come to fruition. New York City will begin tracking the carbon footprint of household food consumption and putting caps on how much red meat can be served in public institutions. Mayor Eric Adams, the good communist little stooge, and representative from the Mayor's Office of Food Policy and Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice announced new programs last month at the Brooklyn Culinary Center, run by NYC Health and Hospitals. That's the pharmaceutical industrial complex, the city's public healthcare system, just before Earth Day. So it's all about the Earth, y'all. At the event, the Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice shared a new chart to be included in the city's annual greenhouse gas inventory that publicly tracks the carbon footprint created by household food consumption. The city already produced emissions data from energy use, transportation, and waste as part of the annual inventory, but the addition of the household food consumption data is part of a partnership that London and New York launched. Oh, the old Anglo-American establishment with the American Express. Oh, that good old American Express, C40 Cities, and Eco Data Lab. Commissioner Rohit Aragwala. Yeah, sure, Rohit. Yeah, I'm sure you have Murica's best interest in mind. Definitely. Good old Rohit Agarwala from the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, because they're, you know, all those environmental protection agencies, they just really care about the environment, you know, just like in Palestine, Ohio, you know, they're really helping us all. Agarwala, who founded Google Smart City subsidiary Sidewalk Labs, celebrated the expanded data collection as forging a new standard for what cities have to do and a new way to shape policy. This is all 1984 newspeak, and And what we really need to do is stop the lizard people, y'all. So if you would like to get the word out and stop the lizard people, consider purchasing a shirt from TheTexasBoys.com. You know why? Because freedom isn't free. That's why. And I'm the control group, y'all. So if you have managed to remain unmedically procedured yourself, then you really need I'm the control group hat. But anyway, he said the inventory also will measure greenhouse gas pollution from the production and consumption of other consumer goods like apparel. So your clothes, right? We've been talking about these carbon wallets and all this stuff. You're watching it implementation. This is real-time implementation. This isn't Alex Jones' tinfoil hat, and Alex Jones was right, y'all. So there's that too.
There you go.
I
can't wait until they start tracking the carbon that us as people put out.
Well, like, what do you mean? We are the CO2?
That too.
Well, there's that hat and t-shirt as well. But Adam's presentation at the event focused on food consumption, particularly meat and dairy. Food is the third biggest source of cities' emissions right now, after buildings and transportation, Adam said. But all food is not created equal. The vast majority of food that is contributing to our emission crisis lies in meat and dairy products, he added. It is easy to talk about the emissions that's coming from buildings and how it impacts our environment. But we now have to talk about beef. And I don't know if people are ready for this conversation. Adams, a vegan who, according to a whistleblower, also eats fish, like most vegans, and most of these tree-hugging, Gaia-worshipping freaks are completely and total hypocrites, just like the Pharisees of the Old and New Testament. Can just do rules for thee and not for me, you know. He also eats fish, credited his plant-based diet for his recovery from diabetes, along with a healthy fish interjected in there. A plant-based approach to preventing and reversing diabetes and other chronic illness. A vegan cookbook. And hey man, I think there's a lot of benefits to plant-based and nutrient-dense food, but most of that is ultra left-wing carbon-reducing propaganda, or Seventh-day Adventist, Ellen G. White nonsense that if you eat meat, it feeds your flesh. Different meats have different kinds of greenhouse gas footprints because of differences in the production systems, and all land is not created equal. Melissa McKendry, PhD, an agricultural economist at Michigan State University, told The Defender. Land that is suitable for cattle production, such as range land and pasture, often isn't suitable for other types of agriculture, and vice versa. And all of those different ecosystems for different plants and animals, when working well, work together to create a healthy ecosystem. Alternative grazing systems like the regenerative agriculture systems that McKendry researches make it possible for pasture-raised beef to sequester carbon and become a carbon sink, actually reducing the greenhouse gas footprint in food production rather than adding to it. Regenerative livestock farmer Will Harris told The Defender, as a practitioner who has been regenerating depleted land for 30 plus years, I will tell you that regenerating land is about restarting the cycles of nature that have been broken by industrial farming, and restarting those cycles cannot be done cost effectively without animal impact. He continued, all ecosystems evolve with certain kinds of animal impact, and to say we've misused technology to break these cycles of nature, we are going to start them back by leaving out this essential ingredient that has been around for millennia is wrong. Sadly, there is a percentage of those populace that, for whatever reason, has decided that animals in the ecosystem are bad, and the way to have a healthier planet is to give up that animal impact. Many of us have proven that there is ecological benefit to having animal impact in the equation. It has to be done right, but when it's done right, there is an ecological benefit and an ecological service that we provide. But this sector of society is so committed to the vegan solution that it doesn't matter what we demonstrate. They're going to paint us with the same brush. They drown out our voices by screaming the same misapplied science over and over again. So they're pointing out the hypocrisy and the ignorance of ignoring guys like Will Harris and guys like Joel Salatin. And there's several different regenerative farmers that rotate crops and also rotate animals to create these carbon sinks and to produce a high quality organic grass-fed food, nutrient dense proteins. And this thing works together if you don't hate God and decide that everything needs to come out of a test tube and that our meat needs to be 3D printed, you know, from like the disgusting recesses of...
And that's what we do here at the homestead. We actually rotate our pigs back and forth between our food forests, and also we have, that's the other reason why we grow our own beef and our own meat, like chickens and different things like that, because we don't have to go to the grocery store and rely on them, and we don't have to rely on the they, them, and those that want to control our lives.
Yeah, so what I'll do is, this is a really good article, and it gives you the woke left version of what they're doing, and then it gives you the antithetical approach of reality and the solutions to counteract this, where it doesn't involve like starving us and feeding us crickets and insect-based proteins, you know. So we'll link this down below. This was actually written by the second smartest guy in the world. So that's the source for this one. So we'll post the link down below. There's a lot of this is from their Substack. This is a really good article, a lot of great information. So I want to direct you there. You can share this article with your friends and families, and any y'all in the New York tri-state area that haven't considered like maybe relocating. And I'm not saying this woke critical theory whatever is definitely alive and well here in Texas, but right now we have an enormous amount more freedom and ability
For now.
to be left alone and raising our own food, and also to congregate with other like-minded people like those of the Exit and Build Land Summit, where all these people are drawing the same conclusions, that we need to exit and build a parallel economy, build a parallel food system. And Joel Salatin just talked about that at Hillsdale College. We'll probably be doing a review of that video. It was very good. But we appreciate and love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Check out all our links down below.
All right, thank y'all so much for watching today's video, and see y'all on the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.